guest. Which I am really happy. I've never... You're the first special guest, is it?
Really?
You are.
I'm not special.
You are. You are very special. Oh, absolutely.
No, please don't call me special. I'm just somebody that's lived life.
Absolutely, you have.
I've taken chances, and if there's not just the remotest chance of being able to do it, but if I really thought confidently I could do whatever it was, I would do it.
Absolutely.
I would take it on.
Yeah.
And thank the good Lord I'm here telling you all about it now.
Smashing 99 lives.
Well,
that's incredible.
It just is. It just is. I mean, there was one particular thing. It doesn't. Although it doesn't. Yes, it does concern me. I'd be about 6, scrumping apples with the lads down this place where I was telling you, sat Tanvats near Sots Hole.
Yeah.
Look at your Google, it'll show you. I'm not telling you lies. And I remember the big lad. He was up the tree. The trunk of the tree was scrumping apples. The trunk of the tree was in the church or chapel yard.
Yeah.
But the best apples were hanging over the, old ecclesiastical building. Got these big iron railings, ain't they? All around the top.
Yeah.
He's up there and he's obviously reaching for the big, and he dropped out the tree. And he fell, I must have fell perhaps 10 feet, and straddled. Yes, this is a God's on. Now then he's impaled. He's impaled on the church railings. We couldn't get him off. We couldn't get the poor sod off. So anyway, it was now run to some grown up. And the only person in the village was, I believe, the doctor that had the car in the village. He had the car. Yeah. So he was coming. He couldn't do much with them. I don't know whether morphine out of them days, but this young lad, he was in terrible pain.
Oh, but he was.
And eventually they had to get the blacksmith to come and hacksaw the thing that was stuck up into his groin, right? And raced him off to Lincoln Hospital. Now, he didn't die of that because he came back, but he got a pronounced limp.
I bet. Ow. And they're just one of your little stories tonight. Just a quick one.
Dear.
Right, okay. So, tonight we're doing something a bit different. We have a special guest. He doesn't want to be a special guest, but to me, he's a special guest because he's lived life. He's experienced stuff very similar to me. And he's a fantastic gent. Like, it really is. And he just... Yeah, it's just one of them people you can sit and talk with for hours, and I think it'll be lovely to get best of what we can get to speak to him, especially about his interactions with, like, the paranormal. We're not going to jump straight onto Colby Grange. We're going to... Colby Grange is going to be one of the topics. We're not going to jump straight onto Sturgate. We're going to... Hello, Cass, you're right. We're going to get a little bit about him. How long he's been into flying, and then we should we'll go from there, and then we'll go on to the Sturgate experiences, the genuine, real experiences that have haunted this place for years and years and years.
Well, would you like to start with a ghost story that actually happened in this very room?
Not this one. We can start with. Let's start with saying hello.
Hello,
So,
howdy.
This is John.
My name's John West. Dare I tell you how old I am? Well, let's just say I was born in 1942, and I've lived life to the full ever since. I really have. So I'm a wartime baby, so I can vaguely remember my mother pushing me in a wheelchair down in Nottingham. I believe she was living in Nottingham at the time. And it may be a suggested thing to me, but I do have this phenomenal memory. So possibly when I tell you that I can remember an aeroplane with black crosses on it, going down the high street and hearing something going brrrr.
Really?
That's me. Now, I could only been 2-3 years old, but I can remember that.
Wow.
And my mum shoving the pushchair, pram, whatever it was, into the thing.
Knowing it was coming.
Yes. Well, I mean, I didn't know what it was. It was just this thing making this odd noise.
Do you still... Can you still hear it if you like in your memory? Can you
Yes, oh, yes, and obviously the war films and whatever now know that it was a machine gun.
Wow.
But at the time, it was just a noise that frightened my mum. Must have been so much because pushing a shop or a door or something like that till it had gone.
So what was it like growing up during? Because you remember quite.
I do.
Quite a while.
I do, and it's all in colour. It's all in colour. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And whoever's
everybody
this,
here, yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
When you dream, do you dream in black and white or colour?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think I dream in colour.
There you are then. Most people dream in black and white. You just ask yourselves that same question.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something you don't think about.
Yeah,
but I dream, and most of what I'm talking about, God's honest truth, it is, as near as I can make it, the absolute truth. Wow. So as I say, just take it as I'm telling you, because that's the way I remember it.
Can you tell me a little bit about growing up?
Growing up?
And the bombers coming over and...
Right, well, as you say, bombers and things like that, but when you're sort of 2 and 3 and 4 years old, they're just things up there. Nobody's told you that they're I may have mentioned it, but I do remember one of the biggest revelations when we lived down this sot hole.
Yeah.
Do look for it on Google, because I promise you it's space. Well, that was in the flight area of Metheringham Airfield.
Yeah.
So of course, when Dad came out the army, we moved back to the land, so these things were hovering about and doing the business there. And it was quite a revelation when my mother told me that men flew in them. To me, they were just aeroplanes.
Just flying around,
Just flying around. Yeah, like a bird or something. But so when she told me, I was explaining to me, no, there's men flying in them. And I tell you, I can remember the exact time when she told me. She was a bit... Somebody had been killed in an air crash, an air race, as I now recall. And it made Mum sad, and of course with them...
One of ours?
Oh yes, indeed, one of our own pilots, wartime pilot, whatever, because where are we? I'd be 3 or 4 by that time, beginning to understand a bit about things. Yeah. And I never knew my father until I was 3. I know I'm jumping about a bit. And this big man came into our front room and was cuddling my mum. Obviously he got his eye, and of course she was crying. I didn't like that at all. Some big man was molesting my mother. But it was my father. And I would be 3 years old before I knew.
Wow.
Because he'd come home on...
So he'd been to war?
Oh, indeed, yeah.
What did he do?
Oh, he was a...
Did he talk about it much?
Yes. No, like he took it, always like drawing teeth.
Took it with him.
Yeah. But he did... Oddly enough, it was Dad that really got me into the paranormal, to be honest. Because,
that's interesting.
Well, again, you see, it's difficult to know exactly when you were told things.
Yeah.
But I do remember Dad, maybe when we used to be sitting around the fire at night, listening to Dick Barton on the radio or something like that.
Wow.
And to stay up for that extra 10 minutes. We'd get Dad talking about something like anybody, you know. Instead of
get you talking, keep it longer.
Another 5 minutes, put a bit more coal on the Bible. And anyway, there we are. So he then began to tell me some of these, and I won't say them because he used to stop halfway through. It obviously affected him too much. So in respect to Dad, I won't there. But some of the things he told me, because he had 3 tanks blown up while he was driving, and at one time it paralysed his leg. Here's another story. Oh,
wow!
It was in France.
Yeah. And
the tank it received a hit. All the men had got out.
Yeah.
And the last guy to get was the gunner, and Dad and the gunner, Rowie, Jimmy Rowe, I think it was, got Dad out, but Dad was paralysed from the waist downwards, right? And of course, I mean, battle, shot and shell going all over the place. They got him out the tank, and all the crew was, including the tank commander, who was the radio thing. Hello, darling.
Hello, my love. Are you okay?
I'm now seeing you.
I'm only going to see you.
Anyway, we're battlefield, shot and shell, right? The only bit of protection was this small gully, little ditch, and all the men were lined up like sardines in it. right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Including the tank commander. Rowan got Dad out and dragged him in to the trench, or whatever it was. A German shell exploded further up the drain, dike, whatever.
Yeah.
And the shock came down and hit the tank commander, killing him stone dead. But it deflected the pressure, so the rest of the queue, including my father, was saved.
No
But
way.
his body deflected the shockwave
And went over.
and the rest of the crew was saved.
Wow. That's like a proper hero story,
Well,
isn't it? That's it.
my dad was a hero.
Absolutely.
Because once, when I was helping with my brother to feed the animal, Dad was a stockman.
Yeah.
Dad was in the barn filling the bags up.
Yeah.
And my brother and I would go in, picking the bags up, going into the crew yard where there was heifers, and one was a bull. It had already started growing its horns. Now I've already emptied mine into the tumbril, and I noticed the bull beginning to charge. It was scraping its front feet, snorting and doing this. Now my brother didn't see this because he'd got his bag and he was emptying it, right? So before I could say, my dad, God knows where he'd come from, but he'd come out of the barn between my brother and the bull, and Dad stopped that bull's charge with one smack on the end of his nose. And the bull, he's only a small bull, but he's got the business, you know what I mean? He sat on his backside and saved my brother's life. And what did Dad do? He just took the empty bag and went back and filled it up again. Now that's a hero as far as I'm concerned.
That is a story. That is a story.
But again, true as I'm sitting here, because it happened to me, and I'm too old to tell lies. Don't need to tell lies.
No. So growing up, in that time,
Yeah.
you remember the planes. What were your nights like?
To be honest, I know nothing ever kept me. I'm a country lad.
Yeah.
Bred and born in the country, so
Never really got them over here.
that's right.
It's mainly
I
London.
mean, if I get to know you better, I might tell you about Dad, who was the original Lincolnshire poacher. But we'll not go down that far yet. But
Wow.
let's just say, my brother and three sisters never went hungry. Mum, in her younger days, was a professional cook.
Yeah.
Dad had got all the skills that a countryman had. He was a stockman and he was a poacher. But we'll not say any more about that. We never knew where all this food come from in the pantry, go up the next day.
Yeah.
Then there's all this food in the pantry. We never questioned where it came from. But we never went hungry. Never.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
that's how we used to work. And I just finished writing this story, as I say. I'll give you examples of it. Directly after the war, when we was right down in the fens, my dad, like all countrymen, worked on the bartering system. Now he knew Mrs. Jones didn't like butter, or Mr. So-and-so didn't like so whatever rations they got, we would go on Dad's bike that he gave a quid for when he was demobbed and bossed him. I'm sorry, I do track on a bit. But Dad made 2 pannies on the back of his bike that put all our excess food into that, eggs, honey, onions, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he and I, not every time, but he and I, got him made a little bike seat across his crossbar.
Yeah.
So I've been with Dad miles and miles on these old rutty cart tracks right down the fence there. And we would go to Mrs. Jones and swap our for hers and then on to so-and-so. And that's how we spent Sunday morning, swapping. So no money, I can't remember what
How
money
times
was.
are different.
But that's how we used to live. We used to buy it by bartering.
That's
You
amazing.
had to get on your bike, as Norman Tebbit said. You had to get on your bike and go and do it. And I suppose that's really what gave me the impetus, the idea to just go and do it.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to come to you every time. You go and do it. The philosophy of life. Go and do it.
Just go do it.
Don't wish you had. Go and do it.
Wow. So you grew up during the war?
Yep.
As a war
Well,
zone.
as I say, I was born in 42, so 43, 44. Dad got called up for the Korean War.
Oh, wow.
My father got called up for the Korean War.
How
Now,
old
I was
he?
9 at the time. And again, I've written this in a story, so I'll let you read that at some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm the man of the house while Dad's away. Right?
Quite a responsibility,
And
no?
absolutely.
Yeah,
This
very
again
much so.
is where it gives you when you're thrown into that situation, you're self-reliant.
Yeah.
And I've got my brother, I've lost him since, but 3 sisters that I keep in regular touch. We were very close, knit family, because well, farm is that. I mean, if there's a house at the back of beyond, that's where a farm worker, you know. So it's almost self-reliant. It's the way we were brought up. I mean, the modern is everything's brought in a van.
Yeah.
Well, those days it didn't. You had to go and fetch it. You know, I wouldn't say it was hard. It was a wonderful life because we wanted for nothing.
Yeah.
In any company we had, I was fortunate enough to be the head or the eldest of 5 children. It was. I mean, Dad come home with a pig once, a little wrestling pig. The sow had rolled over and broken its leg and damaged its back. Yeah. So Dad brought it home. Mum cuddled it and bottle fed and what have you. And he made a splint for its leg and its back. That was a pet. That was we used to play with this pig. You said that. I mean, how wonderful to be able to do that. Just play with a pet pig.
Yeah.
And pigs are the cleanest of animals. They really are.
I have heard that.
They are.
Yeah.
You'll maybe see one particular area of the sty that has the business in it, but the rest of it is scrupulously clean. Pigs are scrupulously clean animals. And we had this pig, as I say, for, I don't know, 18 months or something like that. We used to ride on its back around the farmyard, looking for the eggs, the free-range eggs. Honestly, it's idyllic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Really? So we came home one day.
No.
Yeah, she's covering her ears.
No, that's cool, man.
Because all farmers are practical people, you know. The animals are reared not to be pets. And of course, we were crying our eyes out, of course. But by tea time, his name was Snorker. That's what, Snorker the Porker. By the tea time, we were enjoying Snorker in an entirely different way.
Just an imagination. It was a thought then.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. But we lived that life. And as I say, when I was...
Hello. No.
That just proves we're in a live airfield.
We are in a live airfield. We are.
It is not a studio set up.
It's not. No, we're in an active airfield that is working.
Right, now then. Mum, as I say, when I was head of the family, while Dad was away at the Korean War, but thank God he didn't very, very long, and they never talked why he came home after about less than a year. Suddenly my father was... Sorry. And I remember helping Mum and I were mucking the pigs out. We were chucking the pigs out there. And my father, no telephones or anything those days, of course. Suddenly my dad appeared there, great coat, rifle, all the rest of it. Right.
Never thought he'd
Suddenly there's my dad. Well, Mum, of course, tears and all the rest of it. So I distinctly remember it now. Pink headscarf, Dad with his great coat and his forage cap on, Mum in a mucky Wellington boots, Dad's in his, you know what I mean, and they were embracing over a, dare I say, shite?
Yeah.
a shite covered pigsty wall, and they embraced over that. Now, how romantic can that be, eh?
That's the stuff you hear of in films, isn't it? You don't
That's
actually
right.
hear it in real
But
life.
I've seen it. That's what I'm saying to you. I've had the most wonderful life. I really have.
Wow.
Thank God and thank parents. I've got the memory to remember it all.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember some.
And I mean, all I know, the word bored is just a word. I have never been bored in my entire life. Never been bored, whatever.
Wow.
Even when I was made, well, no, it wouldn't be bored, it was a bit frightening at the time. I was made redundant in 1984 when 4 million other people were looking for a job. Now, suddenly,
That's
you've got a
scary.
missus and a mortgage. Now, that's a sobering thought. But, again, friends rallied round. And
Everyone came together.
that's right. I set up my own business. Eventually, I employed my father, my son, and another fellow in the garage trade. And that was a difficult one to get into but I'm rather proud of the fact that when I got the business, as long as I made friends with the family's mother, this is something that I've always never avoided ladies' presence. I've always been, what's the word? Happy, there's a word for it. Comfortable in the presence of ladies. Because I try always to use, in the garage, tell my lads, garage ladies.
I'm very similar.
And you get the lady or the mother of the house, you've got the entire family.
That is very true.
Family.
No, that is that is very true.
That's a philosophy.
I know that from my garage, Yeah. I know that, absolutely.
So then the ladies, when husband's away at work, children at school, if anything was wrong with the car, they didn't think, oh, where can I take it? Go and see John.
I'll go see John,
Go and see John. That's it.
That's it.
All the stories I can tell you about
Trust
that.
and confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because it's very daunting, especially
in those days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so good now, but not as though you can go through a door into a workshop. But those days you could, of course.
Yeah.
But there's a story there, and I was going to tell you. I'm sure you'd have laughed at. Oh, that's right. We'll say Mr. Jones. John, can you service the car tomorrow? He says, I'll bring it in, but it'll be late before I get back. So when you're done, if you'll take it home, leave it in the drive, put the keys wherever, through the letterbox, something like that, which I've done this many times. So, of course, this is what I did. Car, garage, what I said. Anyway, the very next day, Mr. Jones came in with his wife, walked into the thing. Hey, all right. They said, here's paid John. He said, can you explain something? I said, well, yeah, why? What's the matter? He says, my wife's car keys was found under our bed. Now then, I'm as gobstruck as what you are, right? I did what I said, letterbox, and I brought my fingers back quick because it's not the first time, but little dog has bit you bloody, in and out very quick. Anyway, I mean, then I saw the smile come on the face. Obviously, the little lap dog had taken the keys up to his mistress's. That's how they got under the bed. God's honest truth. God's honest truth. But for a while, I'm in this dilemma. I could have been in trouble. How they got under her bed? The bloody dog had took them up there.
Trying to stitch you up.
But then again, so many stories. Oh no, this one's far too long to tell you really. But it's a stitching time where I did a very little lads. All the kids used to come into Mr. West garage. And it was Mr. West until I tell you different, right? I'm rather proud, me and my wife, it's going back a few years now. But maybe some 6-footer would meet me and my missus in Tesco's and still call me Mr. West. Absolutely wonderful, and that makes you feel so good, you know you've done it right.
Yeah.
And I could, we were talking, the garage was in Lincoln, and dare I say, it was fear and respect. I could stop kids misbehaving 100 yards away with the Sergeant Major's voice. And I'll not do it now because it'll damage that thing. But I've always found that you don't need to be bullies to children. You turn on the Sergeant Major's voice and immediately...
I do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do
immediately, children and small animals, they respond to that note of authority that a man can put in his voice. Ladies can't do it. You can scream all day. It's a game. It's a game to them. So any of you that have got children, just remember that.
Yeah.
It's in the voice. You don't need to be bullies or anything.
No, I can vouch for that because I do it with my
You're
kids.
obviously an observant fella. What I'm telling you, it's taken me a lifetime's. But
learn.
you're beginning to.
I do it with my kids. They're stepping out, right, pack it up,
That's
and
it.
off.
That's it.
And they go, ooh.
But if Madam does it, it's a game. But it ain't with Dad. Oh, it might not be with Dad. Oh, this is another one, let me tell you. You talk about growing up. Now just think of this. Remember, there's 5 of us, ranging at the time of the story. The smallest would be about 5, so I would be about 11. Now, my father ruled us with a rod of iron, or rather, a thick belt that all farm workers used to wear.
Oh, heck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we got that. Boys and girls, they got that. Because at the time, we all slept in the same bed. Boys at the top, girls at the bottom. Honestly, it was honest truth. And the things I can tell you about that, in the nicest possible way, if it was a cold winter's night, Mum would take the shelf out of the oven, quite hot, wrap it in a towel, and then lay it so we could lay on. Oh, it was just heaven to put your feet on a cold night onto no central heating them days. In fact, if you wanted a coat on, a blanket, you got Dad's old army coat. That went over the top. Oh, wow. There's them days. Anyway, I digress. Let me just tell you, because you'll laugh at this one, you really will, because it's the God's honest truth. You may not believe it, it's true. I've trimmed this story a little bit so it gels and sounds better. But we hated this belt. All of us hated this belt. And we was conspiring one day we were going to get this. Well, I was going to swear there, but we got this belt. And we were either going to destroy it or hide it. Right? The fact that it held Dad's trousers up, it doesn't matter. Anyway, short straw. We must have seen it on a film or something. Matches, right? And my eldest sister, and if ever you meet she'll endorse what I'm telling you. She drew the short straw. My eldest sister, she'd be about 7. Right. Midnight, we waited till we were snoring in Mum and Dad's bedroom. Right. So she went all with trepidation into Dad's bedroom. My sister got the belt off the metal bedstead. Yeah. Right, and as she pulled it too quickly, and the metal of Dad's belt, clang, woke Dad up. No. Well, in soldier's language, Father inquired who was in the room. In soldier's language. Well, of course, she dropped the belt, come back into it, and of course, where is it? And she told us the story. Like, well, we'd gone to such great lengths to get this belt, and as yours truly was the instigator of this, I successfully got this belt. Oh. And before they got up the next morning again, and this is where I just, a little bit, but I do this to make the story sound better. But this actually happened. We got up like the famous 5, and we traipsed across through the snow, across the fields, right? Because we knew where we were going to put it. There was an old knotted ash tree that had broken, and the trunk was hollow. Mm-hmm. And we knew that if we threw this bloody belt of it, Dad would never find it, right? Honestly, it's the God's honest truth. Went back to bed. Of course, the following morning, Dad was saying, "Where's my belt?" We all stunned. We wouldn't split on each other. Anyway, now he has to find a bit of string to hold his trousers to go to work. He said, this is Dad's philosophy. He said, oh, there's another stuff. No, I'll not tell you about this one. He said, when I get home, he says, I'll thrash the lot of you. And of course now, so then I'll get the right one. That was it. That was his meter of justice.
You're all getting it.
Yeah, then I'll get the right one. So anyway, it came, and of course it was laughed. We didn't get a belt for that one. He got, I think, Mum bought him at Christmas, bought him a new belt. But this again, may I never move from this spot. Mm-hmm. Remember, the belt is hidden down inside this thing that that was the beauty of it. We knew Dad had to walk past it every day to work. So, there was you don't know it's there.
He's so close to it.
Right, but the following February, there was a lightning storm, thunder and lightning storm, and I'm maybe going to tell you, lightning hit this tree, split open. So Dad's walking past it. There, this is it. Honestly, I mean, there's justice for you, see. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as I say, I give Dad retrieved the belt, all this, that, and the other. But let's just say that I'll give it a happy ending. We were round the tea table that night. Dad was saying about, my belt. I was walking home today, and I walked past the tree, and he reached in his pocket, and guess what I found? Bringing the belt out of his pocket. But honestly, that apart from the last bit, that's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose, really, I mean, I did actually get the belt, however, I don't know how we did it, but at the time we lived at a place called Buslinthorpe. It was an old manor house near Market Raisin, and it had a moat round it.
Mm.
So whenever the opportunity arose, I found a brick, wrapped this awful bloody thing, and as far as I know, we went back 6 years, still in that fucking moat. But they say, Dad got a new belt for Christmas, so all's well that ends. Oh, just brilliant.
Tell me about
Brilliant
your
times.
teenage years as you were going into like from your 15s into your 19s.
All right then, okay. My friend, he was about 2 or 3 years older than I, so he had a license and an old Austin 7. An old Austin 7.
Okay, yeah.
And so he and I, of course, were mates. We used to drive around in this old Austin 7. What was I going to tell you? Oh, so many stories there. All right. Teaching me to drive, because he was the driver.
Yeah.
So legally, I don't know how it works nowadays. If I'm there sat next to a qualified driver, I can drive the car.
Yeah. 2
sisters that we were both caught in near Boston, and it was decided we were going to take this man's daughters to the pictures. We got him to admit, to say, yeah, excuse me, but I want him back straight away and all this, that, and the other. So of course we did. So we went and pictures and what have you. And I'm driving with the driver there, and then when we got outside the girls' homes, it wasn't long before my mate swapped with my date. So now my date's here.
Yeah.
Right. And he and his date's at the back there. Now before any romantic thinking occurred, you have to remember I've pulled up in the novice driver on the wrong side of the road at night, left my side lights on. So it's not long before the the blue light started playing. Oh, gee. Anyway, this police constable got out, wind the window down and said, now laddie, you know it's an offence to park on the wrong side of the road at night with the lights on. But we had to admit that was wrong.
Yeah. But you're sat in the driver's seat.
That's just what I'm saying. Now I'm beginning to sweat now. But I have to digress a little bit there. So just now we're sweating because the policeman's there looking at us. A few months prior to that, I'd got my motorbike licence, or a licence that covered the motorbike. And a month later, my brother did the same. Now, we both lived there. I mean, my name was John. My brother's name was Gerald, right? So when I gave the police constable my licence, because we used to keep these things together, because we rode a motorbike, I'm sorry, that's why I should have digressed. But to keep everything together, if anybody's at the Road Transport Commission, they could stop police could stop motorbikes, they ton-up boys. So they could stop you and they could take the bike off you and things like that.
Yeah.
So to prove that the bike was ours, Gerald would show his licence.
Yeah.
And if I'd show my licence. Well, I'm now showing the policeman my driving licence that's expired. And I'm sitting next door to a girl that's driving at the back. So now I'm in a hell of a, how the hell am I going to get out of this one? A flash of genius inspiration. Oh, I've given you, officer, I've given you the wrong licence, so I put my licence back in there and gave him my brother's. Because everything's, apart from the name, everything's the same. And I've often thought what trouble I would have been in if my mate at the back had called me John instead of Gerald.
Yeah,
so we got away with that one. Oh, wonderful, just wonderful.
Okay. That's amazing. I suppose back then there was no way to radio back control and check it all up.
Well, none of that.
It was all paper and had to carry it all. And
no mobiles or anything like that. I think the police radio possibly, but he wouldn't question that. He would just say, oh, this is all right. And I do think his mate, no, I forgot to tell you about this, but the ending to the story, his mate shouted, Charlie, I think his name was Charlie, we've got so-and-so. So he threw the light down. don't, behave yourself in future, lad. He ran back to the cart and they buggered off. not blue lights and the bells them days, remember?
Yeah,
not e-doors.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
So there you are, you see.
So, what age did you start getting an interest into planes and
When I was
pursuing your pilot's license?
at Colby Grange, as I say, like all boys of our age that day, it's that you're either into the motorbikes, or in my case, reading the Air Ace picture library. Mum used to get one a week, and I would love it. And that's really where it started, at Colby Grange. And as you say, it had only been vacated 3 years. So often, when I was working, because I worked on the land, if I was in the fields, I'd pick airplane artifacts up and things like that, or personal, the old flint lighters and things like that. So things like that began to make me think that there was, I was on an airfield, so aeroplanes and Air Ace and model airplanes, that's where I got into it. Wow. And then I was very fortunate because, you maybe can't remember this, when you were 18, you got your call-up papers. You had to go into the Army, the Air Force or the Navy. It was no option. Well, there is. If you wanted to go into the Air Force, you volunteered to go in the Air Force. And they didn't argue with that. But otherwise, you were either, they used to send you. And I've been the most fortunate of men. I really have. I mean, I'm blessed the day that I was born and all the rest of it. A fortnight before my call-up papers dropped through the letterbox, they abandoned it. So the call-up was finished. Wow. Sigh of relief. But I still thought about aeroplanes, because those days, living between, there's another one I can tell you, between Cranwell and Waddington, there was constant.
Oh yeah, this has been all the time, back to back.
All the time. And in fact, I remember I was still at school when the Vulcans came to Waddington.
Oh, don't get me started, Vulcans.
Right. Well, I remember when the day they came, and when the school stopped, Robert Patterson School at Icombe, and we stopped and we saw these such huge aeroplanes compared to a Lancaster or a whatever, or a Lincoln, a lot of Lincolns about them days. And but suddenly these noisy jets, landing there. And again, that endorsed my aeroplanes, whatever. Because by that time, my friend and I, with a girlfriend, we used to go to Skegness. Now, here's another coincidence. The guy that operated Skegness, David, name had come to me, but it's David. Anyway, he was a pilot with the biggest hands I've ever seen. Huge shovel-like hands. Honestly, that's what I remember about David. And he took us aloft in the old Osters. And we flew over the sea, and I'm lost. I want to be a pilot, right? So, and my friend went on. There's another story I can tell. I have so many stories, and he said I have to channel my mind, otherwise it drifts off onto another one, and then it sounds as though I'm an idiot, not know what I'm talking about. All these things are going to make. What was I going to tell you?
After Skegness.
Skegness, that's right. So when we landed, he decided, because he was older than I, about 2 or 3 years older than I, we were going to be pilots. We were going to learn to fly. Now I didn't know this, but he started his training because his father was the farm manager, so he got more money than me. So he started his training, and I didn't know he was doing this. And after, I didn't really ought to tell you because it's such an involved story. But I will. You'll marvel at this one, and this is the God's honest truth. I found out that he'd started training, and he'd got 5 to 8 hours under his belt. They'd actually sent him solo on this grass airfield at Skegness. So of course, when I found out that I'm like my mate's flying that one. You're my hero. But anyway, I was in the motor trade at the time, and I'd got a job one Saturday morning to help a man with his old split screen Morris Minor, maybe head gasket or something like that. Yeah. And I'd tell Gordon, my friend, that I'd be at Branson. I wouldn't come and see him that weekend. I was at Branson. I'll come and see you, he says. And he hired that Oster for 2 hours. That's what they were flying. No radio, nothing, right? and it was in the circuit. Well, he was getting fed up of just doing circuits. And he was warned never to fly outside the circuit. Okay? You can imagine what I'm going to tell you.
I can see what's coming.
Bigger and larger with it, till eventually he knew they can't see him. So he set heading. No radio, no map, no anything. And he headed due west to come over here. And he knew that once he got to Branston, waggle his wings and fly back. Oh dear, there's so many assets to this story. He eventually got over here and saw the Vulcans at their standby state on the end of the runway. Remember, now he's in airspace now, proper.
Yeah,
no radio.
He's
right. And then he looks down at the gate, and what does he see? He doesn't see Waddington's thing. He saw the Lancaster. So now he's, Christ, I'm not at Waddington, I'm at Scampton. And he looked down, so he turned left and followed the A17, is it? And flew down between the cathedral towers on this, so he could get the B119, whatever it is, to Branston. So he didn't go down the wrong road.
So he followed the road.
Through low, 500 foot, oh to hell with that. So he was following the road, he didn't want to get lost. So, now it's getting late afternoon, this. Late afternoon, and he finds where I'm working, we'll run out and wave at him and this, that, and he does a circle. Now then his reciprocal heading, of course, is due east. So now he sets up. Now the Oster's compass is between the pilot's knees on the floor.
Right.
So, and it's getting a bit misty, because at certain times of the year you get a mist over the walls. And the nearer you get to the sea, the worse it gets, believe me. Well, he got in that situation. And he's there flying due east, 090, whether about the wind or anything like that, but he knew if I set heading, I've got to get to the coast. And he's looking down there, and he's corrected his course on his, it was a stick there, and he looked up, and there was another Oster coming right for him, and he said, how the hell I missed it, I have no idea. He said, I saw the treads on the tyres as it went up to the glass cockpit there. So, I was panicking. And as I say, it's getting worse and worse and worse till eventually he now gets to the coast. Doesn't know where he is, but there's the coast. Now is Skeggy to his left or is it to his right?
Ooh.
Panic! Now it's beginning to get dark. Fortunately, he turns right, and within 5 or 10 minutes he saw all the caravans at Butlins.
Yeah.
Right, so
now
I'm on home territory, but now it's getting dark. And he's getting into a situation that all pilots, I must confess, occasionally, very occasionally, I've been in this place, but most pilots will admit, they get into a situation where it's get it down-itis. I have got to get down. Everything else goes out the window. So you forget all your training, all you're doing is getting the aeroplane on the ground. Well, he was coming in far too fast. I mean, a novice pilot, in this get it down-itis, it's getting dark because the lights are coming on.
Yeah.
All down the city. And so the airfield, being grass, there's no markings, it's just a black hole.
Ooh.
Yeah, honestly. And about 5 or 6 landings, he thrusts it in, bounces it back into the air again, power on, goes round. Yeah, I mean, he's in a terrible state. It really is, okay? The last time he does it, he aims for the thing and switches his engine off. Now, he's got to stay on the ground, hasn't he? There's no option.
There's no
well, he bent this, that, and the other.
Oh, wow.
Fortunately, he got away with it, but there was a court of inquiry, and he didn't fly anymore. Now, whether it was because he was scared or he was prohibited from flying.
Yeah, okay. Give him a bit of a telling off.
Right. Now, I went on to get my own licence in 1988. And it was one of and I got my aeroplane, my Beagle Pup. I love that aeroplane, I really do. Like most cars, love their cars.
Yeah.
I just love my aeroplane, and I flew it for 30 years. We had so many adventures. Oh, so many adventures. And it was one of the proudest days of my life when I went and picked... I know these details because Gordon subsequently told me that the entire detail, because he and his family moved away for whatever reason. Well, we met up in a cafe in Lincoln, and so he told me all these stories from his side of it.
Yeah.
And I then admitted to him that I'd bought a Beagle Pup. Of course, he was thrilled and all of this. So it was one of the proudest days of my life for me to bring my mate down here wheeled my aeroplane out and we reproduced that illegal flight that he'd done 10 or 15 years ago. So it was one of the proudest days of my life when I did that.
That's amazing. So tell me, you told me a story, and I want to capture this story because this is a story that is one of them where you wouldn't believe it unless you'd heard it from the horse's mouth.
Right.
And it's a story where you're at Colby Grange and you got into one of the places and there were all them planes in there, including the Messerschmitt. That's one that I think everyone would love.
Well, I suppose I can tell you this.
And the hobnail boots.
Right, okay, well, this really did happen. It really did happen. Oh, it was lighting up time, is it?
I know, we're getting there.
Right, now just let me collect my thoughts. I hadn't got a licence at the time, but I got bike, so that my brother and I'll say my brother because it's not the only time that we went to the place the place where I'm going to tell you. We visited where we shouldn't have done many times, but this particular time was with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd cycled from Lincoln down to this airfield. I'm trying to think, dear, it'll come to me, straggle thought. But this airfield had the reputation, we'd heard a rumour that there was a lot of interest in airplanes in the hangar that the RAF had disbanded. They'd gone, just leaving a token force of police, right, Land Rover and all. So we, knowing where the hole was in the hedge, we'd go through it, and we down the side of the hangar, pull the zinc back or the corrugated line, got inside. Because we knew inside there was these beautiful World War II airplanes. There was a Messerschmitt, a 109, a Dornier bomber, a Japanese bomber, a Japanese fighter, possibly a Zero, but all these wonderful airplanes that I'd read about in my Air Ace magazine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're in our element.
This is your opportunity.
Oh, heavens. I mean, a boy would dream to be able to sit in it really was. I mean, we'll not go on about taking the cannon. That maybe it's got a bit, but we did. But our trophy, or one of our...
Never happened.
Okay, it never happened. No, you're quite right. It never happened, folks. Never happened. But anyway, there we were, always in our element. I mean, I do remember that I was in a SPAD 17, I think, World War One. So my mate, he was in a Fokker or something like that. After we'd sat in all various World War, you know what I mean. It was just boiled heaven. Now we were engrossed in dogfighting over the thing there. Suddenly we heard the rev of a Land Rover, the door slamming, and a clatter of hobnail boots. RAF police were coming to see who the hell's in their hangar. Bloody hell. Anyway, the padlock's unlocked, the doors are flung out. Well, by this time, my brother and I had found the smallest bloody packing case to get in. So we are quaking with fear in this packing case. Of course, it was so small they didn't bother looking who was in there, but we were in there. Well, in this bloody packing case, bloody holding your breath, and bloody heart pounding, and they're looking all round because what they were doing, the boffins were taking these recent enemy aeroplanes to pieces to see what secrets they held. That was why they were there.
That's why they were there.
We didn't know what we were going to do there, but that's why the police were involved as well. Now, there must have been, it seemed ages, but my brother and I were in this bloody packing case praying and like that. Anyway, I remember one saying, "We must have been mistaken, Bert. Let's go back and get the dogs." Well, the bloody dogs are going to find us, aren't they? So anyway, there's a clatter of hobnail boots revving and grating the gears, and this bloody it boggered off. Well, so did we. I mean, we was out that packing case to our private entrance, and all the bramble briars and things we were pushing to one side carefully to get in. Well, bugger them, straight through them there to our hole in the edge. We got on a bike, so we pedalled like buggers until we got back home. Wow. And my dad says, "Oh, boys, what have you been up to?" And both together says, "Oh, nothing." Oh dear.
Wow. So you got into flying.
Yes. Sorry,
was initially. No, I asked for that one. That was one that was really good.
Got into flying.
You got into flying. Was that Hemswell? Or?
No, it was here. I mean, I was always interested in why we used to go to Waddington air shows and all that sort of thing, because we knew where the hole in the edge was at Waddington. And my first flight, actually, no, it might have been, well, one of my first flights, my friend Gordon, that's right, I know I'm digressing here, but he'd just come back from a family holiday in Blackpool. And by chance, he had a fly at the beach in an Oster, which is the same as what skating.
Yeah.
So he'd fly, and he was badgering me. I went with him on Waddington on a particular day, and he said to me, "Come and fly." He said, "You love it." Well, I just didn't know. Look at this. It's all right reading about it and all that, but I didn't particularly want to fly. I took some persuading, but peer pressure. Come on, you've got to.
Yeah.
So we got sat in the back of this Oster, and this is a God's honest truth. Anybody that's been to Waddington or an air show, can you imagine an Oster flying using the grass between the viewing thing and the runway? That's what he did. He flew just there in front of the viewing. But honestly, that's when we first took. Well, I'm there hanging on, but it would be alive. And I thought, God, I hope this is over soon. And just the pilot jumped out, switched his engine off, jumped out. I'm just going for a cup of tea, lads. I'll not be long. Oh, I thought, no, I'm sat here waiting. On my way, he couldn't wait to get off, but I just wanted to get out. But anyway, the agony continued. Anyway, he came back and started. Somebody hand swung it them days when they started the thing. And then he took off. Well, within 30 seconds, I knew I wanted to be a pilot. And as I say, from then on, my friend, because he was wealthier than Mary's father was, he started his training at Skegness, and I came in months after. But that's how I did it. And then I said to my wife, God bless her, we came down and we walked through that door, and the first person that I met here was the assistant flying instructor, Mike Board. And I said, my name's West and I'd like to learn to fly. And of course he shook my hand and made me welcome or whatever. And the very first thing he said to me was, Mr. West, it will be very expensive. He says, I'm afraid it's £43 an hour. 43 quid. What's it now? 200.
Wow, it's nearly £200 an hour now, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'll take £43 an hour any day.
I'm sure.
We passed it a couple of
remember,
months.
it was a lot of money. 1986, I think that's when I come through that door. Anyway, 2 hours with a bit of perseverance and what have you, I managed to fly. And any time that an instructor had the confidence, once I'd gone solo, that's another story. But every pilot must remember his first solo flight. I remember mine vividly. But anyway, let's pass that one. And if Roy, I do remember his name's Roy. If ever I used to approach him and said, Roy, do you mind? Oh, get up. He says, do your preparation, tell me what you're going to do. And I had so much confidence in that pilot because he got confidence in me. And if I asked him a question, you could do those days. You ask. Nowadays they don't want to know. He wants you paid your money. You know what I mean? But he taught me how to fly properly. Really did, and it was just wonderful. And then, as I say, a friend in here, he and another friend that I never met owned a beagle pup. Golf Alpha Whiskey Victor Charlie. She's still in existence, and as far as I know, she's still hanging at Wellesbourne, Mountford. That's where I left her 30 years ago.
Wow.
It broke my heart to let my beautiful aeroplane go. But again, that's another story. And I wouldn't say age, but certainly cost. The costs of running an airplane was I just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
So there was a chap over at Wellesbourne Mountford there. He was an ex Beagle pup owner. We got in touch with him, and the deal was done. But it broke my heart. It really did, honestly. It really hurt. It hurt me nearly as much as when my Sunbeam Alpine, when I had to let that go because the children were coming along. Again, another story. And that Alpine was on the 63 Earl's Court Motor Show. The one that I owned was on a plinth, with all the lights shining.
Wow.
So in itself, that was a famous. But I had the opportunity to buy that because my boss then, he actually was the Roots group. It was those days. He had the contract or a gentleman's agreement that he would buy that one, and I bought it off him. So,
Wow.
how much time have you got?
Well,
But we can stop here a fortnight.
we're doing well. We're doing
can,
amazing.
and I can tell you so many things, honestly, when I was in the garage trade. But you want to still talk about the flying?
We do.
Well,
We're going to digress.
Yes.
We're going to digress now. We're going to venture off now. Now we're going to go. Now we know you, and we know a little bit about John and
what a story
the amazing life he's had.
Honestly,
Oh, that's only a fraction.
I would endorse that. I really would, honestly. I mean, I love my life. There's nobody more happier with life than me.
I can tell.
Honestly, I love life.
It's actually it's a privilege and really nice to meet someone who. No, it is to meet someone who's so.
I'll accept life
experience.
But, yeah.
It's a pleasure. So we're gonna go into the paranormal now, and
Right, yes.
your paranormal experiences.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, he was telling me of a flight you was doing with a Cessna.
Oh yes.
And you saw another
Hemsworth.
Cessna that was non-existent.
Honest truth.
And
You want that one?
I'd like to start with that one.
Okay.
This is going to be really interesting. So we go in now into the paranormal.
Now then,
And this is a really interesting story.
1993, so I would have had my licence. Well, I got it in '88, so a better mathematician than tell you what it is. But I'd got the pull.
Same age as me.
There you are. You've a lot in front of you, boy. Night rating. I was taught here by a wonderful instructor. That's another story. I was almost involved with the Kegworth. You remember the Kegworth?
No.
At East Midlands? Oh, surely you can remember it. I mean, it's famous. The pilot shut the wrong engine down. He's climbing out of London. Ding, 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 ding. Your starboard engine's on fire. Straight away, all emergency and this, that, and that. Now he's coming over Bedfordshire. Instead of turning back, they directed him to East Midlands. You see, I digress. So you must have to bring me back to the original story. So now then, my instructor, I'm on my night qualifying cross country. And I'd planned to go down to East Midlands on the very time, the very date, the very hour that aircraft crashed on the M1 as it mushed in trying to land at East Midlands because it shut the wrong engine down. It shut the live engine down. It was still flying on the engine that was on fire. Because engines being back here, he couldn't see that. And the stewardess and people on the airplane, I mean, that's a story in itself, were saying, this engine's on fire. So what he did, because the wires had been crossed. You with me? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big, Boeing was really all over the coals. So the pilot and co-pilot were taking the wrong instrument reading, that this engine was the trouble. And they shut that one down, but powered this one up that was on fire. So, I mean, it's mushing like this, and he's trying to get into East Midlands almost at the same time, maybe exaggerating a bit, but I was involved, or would have been involved, had my instructor instinctively, whatever was saying, Johnny says, I'm not happy with the flight, we'll go back. We got the other side of Newark, and I turned around and we came back here. And it was all on television when we walked in here about the Kegworth crash.
Wow.
Now, I'd have been involved with that.
Yeah.
So, see what I mean? All these
little close misses.
Now, what were we talking about?
Cessna. Paranormal Cessna.
Okay, let's get back to the one, apart from saying, well, it must have been a ghost plane, it comes under that category.
Yeah.
Because this, again, I'll try and tell you, I hope you believe that what I'm telling you is because my memory is so sharp, it really is. 1993, November 1993.
You're all right, John.
Okay. There's five of us all got together because those days you needed a duty fire crew.
Did you say November 93?
Yes.
Jesus. I was born on the 10th of November 1993. That is
So
really weird.
This is where you came in, you see. So.
10th of November 93 I was born. Wow.
I've got it written down somewhere in one of these stories. Well, it's one of these. I want you to take them out. But you've got to promise me on your oath I will get these back.
You absolutely will.
Right? Honestly. Because as I say, I mean, my ambition is to write a book. I mean, I've got these. These are hand-printed ones.
There's loads.
Right? And I've got 5 times as many of these at home. So,
Wow.
you know, it should be a fairly thick book, written by a thick person, but never mind. There we are. That's another story. Where were we?
Ghost
Oh,
plane.
night flying. Right, night
Goes plain and
Right, okay. Now I used to keep all my ratings, I kept up with them, right? And Peter, my friend, bless him, he's gone now. We decided we'd come down along with 4 other pilots to renew our license. Because in those days, I don't know if it is now, if a pilot flies 3 flights solo, he is then qualified to then fly at night, but with a passenger. Up to then, he has to do these 3 flights solo. So everybody's doing the business there. Now, I fortunately, as I say, my rating was still current. So Peter and I, so we didn't add to the congestion of night flying, we said, called up 130.3, it was though. Victor Charlie, we're off to Sandhop and say hello to our mates over there. So off we went. Well, it's about 10 or 15 minutes up there. They've got night lights on there, so we did a touch and go there. And so we didn't get back and get in the conglomerate. We carried on, found ourselves eventually over Market Raisin. Right? I was indicating 3,000 feet, and I've got a very good sense of direction. I really have, honestly. I'm rather proud of that. And all the time we're talking to Waddington Radar. Okay, almost first name turns with them. You know, now I said to Waddington, confirm Victor Charlie's over at Market Raisin 3,000 feet. Yeah, that's where you are. So anyway, and we looked then, lovely night, beautiful clear night. We looked directly to the west from Market Raisin, and that would be 10, 12 miles away. And at 3,000 feet, we could see our runway lights. No bother at all. So you didn't bother about navigation, you could see them just flying there. So I trimmed the foot for a nice leisurely 3 degrees descent. And all the time listening, not particularly talking, but listening to Waddington. Because if there's anything about, and they've got it on radio, they will tell you.
There's something in the area.
That's right. So it's just the safest thing to do. So anyway, we're approaching Hemswell, committing ourselves to land and got it all trimmed out and what have you.
Do you plan to land at Hemswell?
Not at Hemswell. No, I'm just saying Hemswell to give you a point of reference.
Okay, yeah.
Hemswell Airfield is there, which was to my right, which is where it should have been at night and all the rest of it. And I'm now almost committed to landing. So doing that, because we're so close, we leave the Waddington frequency, say thank you very much, good night, and tune into our own frequency to see where the aircraft, if any, is in the circuit, you see, so I can either slot in. But as it turned out, it didn't turn out that way, because no sooner had I was going to change frequency to from Waddington to here, suddenly, and this is why I never moved from this spot, this large, and all I can say is that if anybody knows their aircraft description, it was a high-wing, wall-white monoplane, and the best way to describe it was a large Cessna 182 or something like that, a 4-seat, maybe 6-seat Cessna. Suddenly, from Hemswell, it floated across in front of us. At now a few hundred yards, well, Peter and I, both being pilots, suddenly braced ourselves because we knew we were going to fly through the turbulence.
Yeah.
There's no way of avoiding it. It just
put out in
got
front
in
of you.
front.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, you know, and before we could say anything. And we obviously, and nothing. It was just smooth.
Waiting for the turbulence.
Yeah, it never came. And then straight away, because I'm still on the Waddington frequency, I said, you didn't warn me about that one.
Yeah.
Which one? Said the controller. I said, the one that's just gone through all the rest of it. Well, I said, that's funny. He says, you're the only one on my radar screen. All the other aircraft at Waddington, Sturgate, they're on the ground. You're the only one I can see on my radar screen. So there we are. We're left with a dilemma. What the hell did Peter and I see on that dark night in 1993?
And I think what solidifies that, it wasn't just a one-person witness. It was 2 people that saw the exact same thing who reacted to the same thing to brace yourselves because you're about to hit his turbulence and it never came. And not even radar.
And then endorse it by asking Waddington what was that, and he didn't see it.
Nothing's there.
But we saw the bucket.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, that's the absolute truth.
What?
Absolute truth.
What was going through your mind when you landed? I've got to ask. What? Yeah, when you put down.
Well, you
what
see,
was that?
dare I just say this to you? To be trained to a pilot's level in Britain, the British pilot's license is recognised all over the world. So that means we're all trained to the very highest degree, even at GA level. That is why you get a lot of foreign pilots, they send their students here to get their license. Because, so all I can say is, even when my engine stopped at the time, when I was flying over, another story for you, there's no panic involved. There really is no panic involved. You're now you're given a different set of circumstances that you react to based on your training. And this one in particular, you know something has happened, but now I've got to land it. Yeah. So that just temporarily went to the back of your mind. I mean, you're flying a ton and a half of aeroplane, you've got to get it back on the ground and all the rest of it.
Yeah, you met a ghost.
And I tell you what, all you clever people that's got this thing, this is a good one. I must have been one of the, it sounds like I'm bragging, I'm really not, but I have attended the Waddington Air Show no less than possibly a dozen times. Part of the Waddington Air Show, admitted on the static line, but nevertheless I have to fly in and out. Taking various airplanes in there. And, oh, that's right. So I've got a lady controller, and I'm out of a sort of Branston, so Victor Charlie called this, that, and the other. Now I'm committed to land over the A17, is it? The lights are on red for the traffic, so now I'm committed to land. So I'm bringing it in back at Waddington again. Now where's the landing wires? Because Waddington has, they have a arrestor gear, you know, if you know this, at about 300 or 400 yards into it, they can flick the arrestor gear up, so that if you are in problem, you know, certainly the Navy ones, they have a hook. Yeah. So they can land there. And she's a firm arrestor gear down, so thank you very much, because I've only got little wheels.
Just snap it, won't it?
Oh, absolutely. So anyway, now I'm committed to land. Now I haven't crossed the A7, is it 17 or 15?
The Sleaford at the top, yeah.
The Sleaford there. Now, so I'm so close to it, I'm nearly on the threshold. Oh, dear. At the time, the latest European, would it be a tornado?
Yeah, what year?
Well, I'm sure it was one with the Panhard at the front.
Panhard at the front would be a tornado, wasn't it?
I think it was a tornado. I've seen things, and this story's got a happy ending, but it could have had a far different ending than what, you know. So now I'm committed. I've got to emphasise now I'm in the business. Now, just by chance, the guy, my son-in-law, that was near to me, otherwise we could have had video of this event for true. He'd finished. He was getting himself ready for strapping and landing and whatever. He was so close to landing. This tornado came within 50 feet of my wingtip. They'd got it wrong. I mean, he was arsing about, they're tearing about. There's this little put coming in this. And this thing flew just past my wingtip and then rocketed up into the sky.
Wow.
Right? And it wasn't a lady controller then that answered it. It was a bloke. They would say, when landed, clear, all this, that, and we got very efficient at that point. Can you imagine the international uproar, a bloody fighter in the back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'll finish the story on a happy note, but I'll tell you this in the meantime. Of course, all the you aircraft spotters have got this on video. And the comment, and I'm going to use a swear word, the comment was, as this guy looked, and he'd obviously witnessed this thing going just past my airplane, but he kept on my airplane, you see. And his comment was, God, I bet the pilot shit his send there. And that's on that. If you look through your YouTube, whatever you chaps can do, that's actually on. So that actually happened. Wow. And then I taxied clear and found the spot where I was demonstrating this, that, and the other. And there's a guy pushed his way through the thing, all dressed in, it was a Swedish bloke, I think. Pushed his way through to me. He says, "Are you a pilot of Golf Victor Charlie?" I said, "I am, sir." He said, well, I apologise for nearly... He was the pilot of that bloody tornado that nearly took me out of the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, he said.
Such a
So
close
again,
call.
so close.
That'd have been all I can imagine.
Wonder what life that was.
Yeah.
We'd already got up to 6 before we started this. Hadn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we met the Paranormal Cessna, the ghost plane. Nearly been taken out of the air.
With filmed evidence, I do suggest you look at that.
I'm going to have to look for that.
The comment was, God, I bet the pilot shit his hand there.
I bet it was a bracing moment.
Well, it all happened so quickly. It all happened so quickly.
Yeah, it's even hooning.
I mean, I see it, hurtle past, grey blur it was. I tell you, it was like tearing calico. Have you ever got
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. Just 50 feet from my wingtip there. And then, of course, power on and went up through the clouds.
Just disappeared. Like it never happened.
But anyway, now I'm committed to landing, you see. So, and then it's only when you're taxiing clear, you think, God, that was bloody close.
Yeah. Wow.
And then for the chap to be like the gentleman and the pilot that he was, he found me and he apologised for what he'd done. Not me. I mean, I got clearance to land.
That was nice of him. That was really respectful.
And oddly enough, again, just to add to that story, the very next, now it must have been that day. I know the company van. We was to take the store because we was to have a stall and video equipment and stuff. I was driving the van that day, and that evening when I was driving off the airfield, I saw an airman still in green, whatever, carrying a bag. And of course I stopped. Can I help you, young man? Yes, I am trying to find my dinner, he said. And it was the very same pilot.
Was it?
Honestly, you see all these coincidences. It was the very same pilot.
Wow.
And I thought, how high the mighty have fallen, or something like that. There he was, 50 million quid worth of aeroplane. Now he's cadging the lift to find his dinner.
So we'll bring it to Sturgate. We've done a bit about yourself.
You want to do the ghost stories, I think. Now.
So I think now it's amazing. Now we'll drop onto the your first paranormal encounter.
Right. Concerning this club.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because in this tower, I'd probably say start with the door. And then your encounter of
there's two particular stories that if you're brave enough to listen. But the first one is, I hadn't been long in this club before they opted me onto the committee. Right? I was a committee member for 35 years. And often through that period, it got to the point now where we just ignore what I'm about to tell you. And often, and I use the word often, meaning often, we would be sitting up here first Tuesday on our committee meeting. Mm-hmm. Now, not all of us arrived at the same time, obviously, all working men, right? So often, the people that arrived late, you'd hear them come because there's a distinctive noise with the front door.
Yeah.
There's also, excuse me, a convincing noise when you come up those stairs.
Yeah,
you know that something come in.
We've had that, yeah.
So when this first started, as I say, 30, 40 years ago, you would instinctively leave whatever we were doing, we'd stop talking and writing whatever, and we looked to the door, expecting one of our committee members to come in. Mm-hmm. Didn't come in. Now this is all right at the first. They'll come in eventually. When this happened a couple of times, I thought, look at this, I know somebody's coming in. And I would go down, bit trepidation, let me tell you, because, nobody. And the times we didn't bother in the end, it used to clatter, the door would clatter, somebody coming up the stairs, nobody came in. And it happened so regular, I wouldn't say every time, but every 6 months, shall we say. You ignored it. Whoever will come in, if it's somebody, will come in. And eventually, occasionally, it was a committee member. You understand what I mean? It wasn't always a phantom. So, but again, so what I'm saying, that introduced me to the Sturgate ghost. And the two examples I'm going to give you, again, I hope you don't think I'm exaggerating.
Not a chance. Not a
The
chance.
first one, let me just think which would be the better to end on. Now, I'll give you the one that's currently in my mind. My friend and his girlfriend at the time were very energetic members of the Lincoln Air Club.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to be midsummer when we were going to have our flying. Okay, and we used to go to great lengths to prepare the building for the hundreds of visitors and literally dozens and tons of aeroplanes. So a bit of preparation was needed.
Absolutely.
Now these two diligent couples, prior to them getting married, decided they would work through the Saturday and not go home. They brought their sleeping gear, and I think Sue, she slept on this very sofa.
Right there.
Yeah,
On
this
here.
very sofa. I
Yeah.
didn't want to, okay, it was different, can mean differently there. But nevertheless, one of these things. So, being the gentleman, Mike slept on the floor in his sleeping bag while she had a little duvet and thing, night and all kissy and all that sort of thing. The very next morning, when Mike woke up, he found Sue all wrapped up in her duvet like that. And of course he sort of got out of his sleeping bag, went over and nudged her gently, and because she cowered and pulled her. Oh, Mike, she said. Oh, she was so relieved, and she jumped up and embraced him and held him tightly. He thought, well, this is nice. And then eventually she had what she did. While she was close to him, like the, has he gone yet? Has he gone yet? Of course, Mike thought, nobody else here. They'd slept overnight. He said, there's nobody here. What was the matter? And gradually she moved away from him and she looked round, and with great relief she said, oh, thank goodness he's gone. She had witnessed an airman at the foot of her bed staring down at her.
Wow.
And she said he didn't say anything, just looked at me, and it frightened her. So she went back under the covers again and looked at, and he's still there. So eventually she just hid herself under the cover and waited till what I've just explained to you. Mike nudged her and said, how are you, everyone?
And that'll be in this room.
In this very
room.
This very room. Now,
That's
as again,
amazing.
they're very good friends of mine, and both Sue and Mike backed up the story that I've just told you.
That's amazing. That's one of the things that is witnessed. By,
Exactly, it's witness. Yeah.
You can't really fluff anything like that, and to have that reaction.
That's right, and I mean, most people don't. You might get the storyteller like me that maybe embellishes it and this, that, and the other. But if you can zero them down to giving you, as far as they can see, the factual things, don't embellish it.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it's more believable.
Absolutely.
Mike and Sue had that.
That's crazy.
There's another one. If this other one comes into her mind, it's almost as good. If it comes into mind, I'll stop you and I'll say it before I forget it.
Absolutely.
But yes, that's the other one. Again, witnessed. There we are. Late one evening, I got my grandson, and I'm rather proud of the fact that I took that young man flying before he was 2 years old.
Wow,
honestly, I'd managed to get him into my daughter, and do you mind? Of course not. It's Dad, not. He'll be safe with Dad. So I put all the cushions underneath on my pup and tightened him up this way, so he really was quite tight. Obviously, he was quite safe. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
Absolutely.
And I took off. Lovely summer's evening. It reminded me to come back to this story. But this is just a nice thing. That young man and I flew so many times before he was 2. Right?
Wow.
When the first time when I got her in the air and I got her trimmed, I looked back. I said, what do you think of it so far? He was fast asleep. He'd gone fast asleep. I thought, what a bloody waste. Anyway, I got him introduced to flying. And he and I, before he went to school, he and I used to fly him. Oh, it was just wonderful. It was just a wonderful relationship that we still have, although he's now 22 years old and works the other side of the Pennine. But it's Grandad. And actually, he wrote me a poem. Would you like to read this poem while I'm yapping away? I promise at the end of it, you'll go, ah.
Oh well.
Just look through there, and I think I've got its poet's corner. You see how I detract? Why it's there somewhere. It's Poet's Corner. That's what it's called.
Lovely.
Where was I? Flying.
So a bit of flying.
Oh, that's right. Yes. And that he and Louis and I, that was his name, Louis and I, we used to fly in to the Waddington Air Show, and the Echo got to know about it, and they came down here and did an article. So I've got photographs of him and I'm whatever, and headlines: Louis attends the air show, 5 years old, and it's all full of photographs. It's lovely. So that's a photographic. That's true. Now I know that's not paranormal, but this story that I'll get on to you, I'll explain to you, involves Louis. We'd been, shall we say, flying that day, and for whatever reason, we needed a lift home. It got to be about 7 o'clock one night, and I was downstairs in the instructor's room that had got one of those automatic lock doors. Once you'd gone through it, used to lock behind you, So I was in there doing what, and I'd got Louis with me. He'd be, 5 or 6 at the time, and we were doing whatever I was doing. I was waiting now for my daughter, his mother, to come and pick us up. We're expecting that. So while we're in downstairs, and I want to try and get this as accurate as I can so it doesn't sound as though I'm babbling, we're doing whatever we're doing, and suddenly we hear the outside door open. And then it clangs shut behind them. Now we're behind the instructor's room door. All we can do is hear this. Somebody obviously walked past the door to the foot of the stairs, then that distinctive...
That clatter. We all hear it.
So I knew somebody was going upstairs. I thought, it's Tracy. She doesn't know we're in the room.
The instructor room, yeah.
She's gone to see if we're up here. So anyway, I said to Louis, well, I got first of myself. But anyway, I found myself up the stairs and here and stood just there. Nobody in the room. But there was the most overpowering smell of sulphur. Now, I can't emphasise just how strong that sulphurous smell was. Now, I know this is, what the hell's that? And I then went back downstairs again, still perplexed. Who's else? Somebody must be up here, but knowing they weren't in the room, I went back to the instructor's room again with my grandson, and we carried on doing what we're doing. Suddenly there's a knock on the door, the outside door, right? So I go out through the door and open it up, and there's my daughter. We've come to pick you up. Now then I'm perplexed because I thought, I said to her, have you just been in and gone upstairs? She says, no, how can I get in? I haven't got a key to get in. So we all ran up that stairs there to see what was here.
Someone was
So there's 3 of us witnessed that the noise, the footsteps and what have you, and the smell. Because when we got up here, it had dissipated a bit, but all 3 of us smelt that smell, and nobody in the room. Now explain that one. So, but somebody had come through that door, and the other thing is, back in the back of my mind, I heard them whistling. They were whistling. I'm not going to say we'll meet again. This is the honest truth, God, man. I never move this on. It was a whistling, a tune that I recognise as a World War II. Not we'll meet again, but something I
like
recognise that was whistled during the war.
We have been, I can back the whistling all day long. We've been out on that counter before I got my keys to the place, and we have both heard whistling outside. Someone whistling.
Just endorse what I've just told you.
It does, yeah.
I'm telling you as accurate as I can remember, and I've got a good memory.
You have.
So there you are. That's as I say, and it happens so on a personal level as well. When do you want to finish this one?
We'll not keep it too long.
Right, fair enough then. Can I tell you a personal, supernatural? It's something that if you don't say, oh, it was a ghost, it doesn't make sense, right? Ooh. So I'll tell you this one.
Hold on, everybody.
This happened to me, and I hope you don't think I'm a liar or an exaggerator.
Absolutely not.
This happened. My wife and I, we was courting. Eventually we got married, of course. But prior to getting married, and I'm going back to the days when I worked as a mechanic at Ford's, and my best mate, who I worked with, lived in the same village as my wife did, Colby. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can. So when I would say kiss and say goodnight to my future wife, to be sure that we maintained, because we had phones, but they hadn't got a phone. It was communication wasn't what it is now. I mean, now you just get your phone out.
Quick tapping away.
What I used to do before I went to bed on the Sunday night, that's enough of that.
Case just closed on its own.
Yeah, on its own. It's been there, over an hour?
Well over an hour.
It's been like that. Now, when I'm telling you this story, it does that. You see?
I'll brace myself for a minute. Here we go.
Right. So it may even be the same chap. This is a story that I'm going to tell you. So that I could communicate with her during the week, I wrote. I mean, God bless her, she passed on 5 years, and part of her artifacts, she saved every note and love letter that I'd ever. You see, your woman, you'd look at her. She'd saved them, and I found them in a tin. It's just lovely.
That is amazing.
And if you want me to endorse even better, the first time I met my wife, when I went home and I wrote in my diary, I've met the girl I'm going to marry. The very first time I met her. Wow, yeah, that's nearly 60 years ago.
That's beautiful.
You see, I hate digressing like this because it gets me away from what I'm trying to tell you. See. What was I talking about? Oh, that's right. So I used to write, "Dear Val, lots of love and nice night," and all this, that, and put it in an envelope, and then I'd give it to my mate the next day at work because I knew that he lived in the same village and was courting my wife's sister. So I knew very shortly, within a day or so, my wife would get the note that she's kept and all the rest of it.
Got you.
Come on, I'm trying to be accurate. Right. So now then, this particular time, I'm writing. I thought, I'll just write this note. Now, again, this will make it queer because this happened to me. Not hearsay or what it happened to me. And you've all seen it in the Hitchcock films. Mm-hmm. I'm writing, remember, I'm the eldest of a family of five, 3 girls and a boy. So I always used to look after it. I mustn't digress. So I'm right here, and I was about to close it up, and suddenly this is the weird thing. When you hear these footsteps, they're louder than normal, aren't they? And it really is a slap, slap, slap. Now, I remember I was in Colby Grange at the time. It was all stone slabs and things like that, and servants' quarters and things like that. So now then I hear coming down the hall from the stairs, slap, 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 quiet. And I'm now waiting for one of my siblings, my sister or something, to come in. Right, drink of water or something, I don't know. And again, may I never move from this spot. It's real old-fashioned door handle, real large door handle. I see it move as if it's opening up. Then it went back. Then again. This doorknob was moving as if somebody wanted to come in. And I thought it was one of my sisters. So straight away I finished, "Love you, lots of love," and all that, put it there. And I got up and walked to the thing. And as I'm walking from here to there, that was only a few seconds, wasn't it? I mean, it took 5 seconds from getting up there. But by that time, I'd heard these going back down the hall to the foot of the stairs. So I thought, little buggers, you know. So I opened the door, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that now I'm perplexed now, you know. And now, so then I posted this, that's the end of that occasion, but it's still imprinted on my mind. And the next day or two, because I was a fit young bloke them days, I thought, well, it's taken me 5 seconds to get from here to there. If it had been one of my sisters, which it wasn't, by the way, I questioned them the next morning, because no, we didn't call me Johnny. You always call me Johnny, you see. So again, I thought, well, what the bloody hell was it? Ghost. So then I'm thinking 5 seconds from there to there. Well, now there's no way somebody could have walked from there to the foot of the stairs and disappeared up the stairs within 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
I tried it once and I could not do it in less than 8 to 10 seconds. And I was a fit young man and I knew what I was doing. So I would run from there to the stairs and get up to where the stairs go around so nobody would see me. And it took me, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 seconds. So why didn't, if there was somebody there, my 5 seconds getting from here to the other side of that door,
You'd have
why
seen-
didn't I see somebody?
Yeah.
But I didn't, and I was running. When I buggered get up on stairs.
Wow.
So that's my first incident. You know
With
what
the
I mean?
paranormal.
That's right.
That's amazing.
That's the best way I can describe it to you.
You've had some really, really interesting interactions
I
with
have,
the paranormal.
and I accept them.
And
I don't
you never went
question-
looking for them, it just happened.
No, it was just something like that. Because my father came through the war, traumatic thing. He had such experience of that kind of thing. And he always told me, never be frightened of ghosts, John. Don't ever be frightened of them. They've come to tell you something. So just sit and ask, why? What, can I help? What can I do?
Wow.
There's so many stories of that you read your books, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
You read but as I say, if you are ever, don't be frightened. Just think about some old fella that's had encountered with these things, and I've not come to any harm. Try and remember, what about it. So when you do tell somebody, you don't exaggerate. So you this, that, and the other. You tell them accurately as much as you can, but be advised. As far as I know, poltergeist, something that was a different thing. Nobody's ever been hurt by a ghost. My father always said that they're trying to tell you something. And of course, to some degree, it is endorsed by, you get a clergyman will come in, and sometimes, a noisy ghost, they can, I don't know what the
Cleanse.
That's right.
Do blessings of cleansing.
You put their mind at rest and say, that there's nothing to worry about, and as you chaps do, try to converse with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just try to get their story.
That's right.
And if you need help.
I just think, you may be frightened, but maybe you're doing whoever you're talking to the power of God. So if you're a good person, try and do a good deed.
I love that. Yeah, I fully agree with you. So I will not keep you too long.
Oh, millions on them, boy.
I have one last question for the night.
Go on, man.
And my question is very much related here. And the question is, do you believe that the airfield that we are currently sat at in this tower is haunted?
Well, from a personal point of view, yes, because of the stories I've just related to. Because there's certain things that happen that unless you put them in a category of the undead, if you don't, if you understand what I'm saying, if you accept what you experienced as truth, then yes. And don't be frightened. Don't be frightened. Just sit and stand, try and relax and absorb and ask whoever you've got the problem with, ask them, what can I do? How can I help?
I can say I've experienced stuff here. And I think there was. I'll tell you a quick story of mine, and then you can pass it on. Okay.
No, well, I will, because that'll be a third hand. Most of what you've heard is first hand.
Yeah. So this is one of my experiences that will stand with me here, and I would say it's the best physical interaction. It's not. Everyone thinks it's the banging hanger. It's not the banging hanger. The hanger that bangs on demand. It's not. I've never had anything
like this.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And that was a genuine. It had been there all night, for at least an hour.
Moved, yeah.
And suddenly,
Bang.
sorry, I beg your pardon.
No, that's fine. So we were stood over by that hangar over there, and there was me, Darren Palmer, and Nick, and we stood at the front of the hangar, and we was trying to interact with any spirit that be there, but we believe whatever may be there could be related to the plane.
What plane?
The Piper.
Oh, the Cub. The
The
Cub.
Cub,
Yes,
yeah.
indeed. Yeah.
So we think that if there's something here, we think there's something related to the plane.
The aeroplane, that is.
And we were stood there, we were talking out loud, spirit energy, if you can hear us, come forward, come speak, come let us hear you.
Yeah.
And with that, Nick grabs my arm, shh, be quiet. And I'm like, hey, what do you mean be quiet? Yeah, Nick usually comes and she'll sit there, she'll be quiet, she'll watch what we're doing. But at this point, Nick's like, just. We've all gone quiet. And we can hear solid boot steps, and I mean solid. I swear. Isn't it true?
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Even asked Darren Palmer.
Yeah.
He heard them as well. Over by the hangar, and they were. like they were
And you
walking,
can hear them though. That's the thing, isn't
Clear.
it? Clear, exactly. So clear.
and it was like they was coming towards us out of the darkness of the
Right.
night, because we're stood on the outside of the hangar, and it's happening all to the left hand side of the hangar.
Right.
So we're there, and we're looking. We're like, who's
Waiting for something.
going to go pee here? What's going to happen?
Brilliant.
They went quiet. Nothing happened. Nothing appeared. Nothing. We heard these solid footsteps walking towards us. Nick had gone, be quiet. Nothing.
Yeah.
No one appeared. Even Darren Palmer were like, what? What? And he's 50-50. He's not sold on it, and he, seeing is believing. And I think even he was like,
Yes.
they were definitely booked. There was somebody
Much
there.
the same as my footsteps in Colby Grange.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been able to hear, and bare feet, by the way. That's what made me think it was one of my siblings.
Right,
It slap, 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 slap.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I don't.
So that's probably the most interesting interaction I've had here. The most physical. I mean, the bangs. I mean, there's a clip on here, where I've knocked on the hangar. You know where the black door is on the other hangar. I've knocked, and I've gone, Spirit, if you can hear me, and you can hear my voice, I'm going to knock on this. Can you knock back? And I've knocked twice. Waited a couple of seconds, and bang! It's bang back. We've had an incident.
Beautiful.
We've had an incident on the stairs where I've been sat in the museum. This is why, when you mentioned the clatter on the stairs,
Yes.
I can back that. I can back that well and truly. And we believe it's of a spirit called Larry, who used to be based here in 1950s as USAF.
Right.
And he was part of Radar.
All right. Yes.
And we were in the museum, and we were speaking out loud, and I just heard clatter, and I went, I know that noise. I didn't reckon, because I'd only been here a couple of weeks. I didn't know it massively. And I went, I've known that. I don't, Spirit, if that's you, and you can hear me, can you do that again? Clatter. And I went, I know the noise. I'm trying to put it together. Just do it again for me, please. It's the clatter of the steps. You know, the plastic trim, the end bit that you can just tap.
Quite distinctive, isn't it? Yeah. Really.
And I now know that noise anywhere.
And what's this, Gary?
Larry,
I beg your pardon.
Larry Cunningham, I believe. Cunnings? 1950s. He was based here. He passed away 2 years ago. And we even went to find his Facebook and everything.
I just say, I don't wish to waste your time, but I think, young lady, the examples of my stories, there's a photograph of when this base was operational, and it was taken because that was the fire
station. Yeah.
Right? And there's a group of American Air Force men having the photograph taken. And it's in one of those.
Mm-hmm.
If it isn't in one of those, I've certainly got it at home.
I think you probably is. I know I've seen a few.
And I believe the names are there. What I'm saying is, if it's Larry.
See, we did find one of Larry. So if you look downstairs, you know where the museum is. Tristan's got that booklet, and it's got a few photographs in it.
I can't bring it to mind, but go on. Yeah.
Can you run and grab it, Nick?
Oh, I didn't.
And in that, it's a man stood there in front of one of the bunkers with a sergeant just in about a couple of yards away, and his name's Larry.
Get away.
Kid you not? Kid you not? There's a photograph on.
Now just accept it. Just accept that it is actual. That it's because. Here's another one. Are you still live?
We are. We are at the minute.
You listen to this one. This will make you feel. I'll tell you this. This is the God's honest truth. I have had an out-of-body experience. So I tell you now, I have no fear of death. Death is just a word. When it happens, it happens.
Absolutely.
Now let me just tell you this. And let's end on this one.
Absolutely.
Because this is an actual story. Okay. My good friend, who's turned out now he's a millionaire actually.
Thank you.
And there's so many stories about it, what he and I used to get up to. Come on, John. I'm trying to collect the thoughts so I can be quite cogent about this. I worked at a garage in Lincoln with an apprentice. So again, I've got a witness to this.
Mm-hmm.
Mike had a speedboat. Now it was a very powerful speedboat because it was it used to tow skiers. so it didn't needed to be that big.
Yeah.
And its top speed was 35 knots. Now it could go like the wind, as you can imagine, but we weren't allowed to. I didn't know this. It kept it on the Brayford, right? Now there's a 4 mile an hour speed limit on the Brayford, but being young and daft, my apprentice and I took advantage of him, said, "We know where the key is, just go and have fun on it, John."
Yeah.
Went down there. Ignorant to the fact there by speed limit. We were giving this bloody thing some beans, we really were. I mean, it was all, you know. So we were annoying all the houseboat owners on the thing. I mean, we thought they were waving. We thought they were waving, but you know, two lads having fun. What they were saying. But again, that's ignorance. But anyway, now then, just let me digress very slightly. Those days, there used to be a marine garage called Greens of Brayford. Anyway, that was their surname. Big sign up there, marine engineers and what have you. Now then, if you wanted some boat repairs, you went to Greens. Now that they had a hoist, obviously with a limited amount of lift, where they could actually lift the thing out and maybe do the whole repairs while it was suspended, or indeed they would bring it in, you know what I'm saying. But there were some that were so heavy they couldn't do this. So what they did, they bought a barge, one of those big long narrowboat barges, put it by their quayside, filled it with concrete, so it went to the bottom, right? So the thing now is sitting on the bottom. But prior to them doing that, they left a piece, they shuttered it, so that the centre section was hollow.
Okay.
Right? So that when a boat couldn't be lifted out, they would float, watertight doors at the back, they would float the boat into there, close the doors, and pump that dry, so that they could work in the dry.
Wow,
the thing's still
that's
on.
clever, that.
Yeah, but this thing is still on the ground because it's full of concrete. See, it doesn't move, but they could empty this so the lads could work on the whole.
That's clever, that.
Well, it's sensible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did sensible things those days. Right, now here's yours truly and his mate on this boat giving it the beans. And we're, oh Christ, there's things on the beach, on the side of the thing there. Immovable object. And so we're going like so. And I must have got it in a situation where we were aquaplaning, because I must have hit the wash. So now the boat's coming out, but I've got it like this. So now it's going sideways at 35 mile an hour or whatever it is there to this immovable object. Now there's no way I'm going to miss this thing, that I'm going to hit this.
This is going to happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable. I'm there and I'm going to die. Right? I know that straight away I'm up there. I am up there, 20 foot up there, looking down at me and my mate in that boat.
No way.
Honestly, it's God's honest truth. So I've had a genuine out-of-body experience.
Like
I was up there, that's right. I was up there, not down there looking up there. I was up there looking down at me. And just by the grace of God, we missed this barge by... And instantly, I'm back in the boat again.
Oh my God.
And may I never move from this spot. That's the God's honest truth. That's why when your time comes, if you're given time, you, whatever you are, leaves that.
Yeah.
That's the earthly bit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're so right. That's amazing. I've never, do you know what? I have never, in all the years I've been into paranormal and astral projection and all the other stuff that I'm into, energies and all that, I've never heard someone
that's actually had an out-of-body experience.
About to witness an incident, watching it happen from the extent. That's amazing. And I do thoroughly believe.
And you do believe it?
I do, absolutely.
Thank you, because it's the truth. It's the absolute truth.
Wow.
And when I came here, I thought to myself, I've had a real hard day in the garden. I think I've had a bit too much sun. I really don't feel like talking. So I hope I've justified your patience.
You're bloody amazing, sir. You really are.
And there's so much more, boy. There is so much more. And thank God I've got this memory. And this.
Yeah, absolutely.
To do it. Yeah.
I'm mind blown.
Well, it's very kind of me to say, but no, it's just that I'm nothing special, but there are certain things about me that I accept are special. But usually it's with the gift of my father, my mother and father. And the good Lord, my religion, C of E, all the rest of it. I say my prayers at least once a day.
I feel like we could be doing this again. We could. Right, on that note.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are watching want you to adopt them.
Well, let me just tell you this, kids. I mean, when I was making, I brought you a present of them potatoes there. When people ask me, especially in the medical profession, because I'm 84 and as fit as a flea, and when I go from a medical, my MOT, invariably straight through. Certainly when I was a pilot, it's signy.
Yeah.
I mean, quite stringent. You're a pilot. You really have to be. You know what I mean. But every time, pass every time. Right? And I forgot what I'm going to tell you. But anyway, there we are. And when they ask me, how do I do it? I give them, I would say, the stock answer. But I'm rather proud of the fact that my diet is based mainly on vegetable. I mean, once a month I maybe have a blowout and have a burger. So, I'm not just a bloody, you know what I mean. But I do moderate my meat intake. I really do, because again, I can give you a theory on that as well. But 60% of what I eat, I grow. My garden is constantly supplying me with food. My bees provide me with honey.
Yeah.
And today, my lovely little chicken supplied me with another egg.
Oh.
So eggs, you are what you eat. You are what you eat.
That's amazing. That's excellent, you could say. Eh? That's excellent.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
That's it.
On that note, guys and girls, I thoroughly hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. And I truly have enjoyed this, because I could sit here for hours, another million hours, and listen. Because
I could yap for another million hours, boy.
These are the things we don't hear. Like, a lot of people saying thank you, John. Even the people here are all saying thank you. And
oh, really?
We all appreciate it.
Well, it's been fun talking to you.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would love to pencil you in again and do this again and venture off into something else and learn some more. And
so many different aspects to my life. Honestly, I've loved and lived life to the full. I really have. To anybody that's interested there, if you think you can do it without hurting yourself or others, you do it. The money, it takes care of itself.
You said this to us last time. Yeah, you did. You said, don't worry about the money.
The money will take care of itself. You might think, but coming in a month or in the future, you'll have found other way of doing it without the money, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
I remember an old fellow telling one of my customers, he'd turned well into his 50s. I can't remember his name. I'll think of his name. But he once said, give me a piece of advice, because my wife and I was thinking about children and we just got married and whatever. He says, John,
take us on board.
John, never wait until you think you can afford the children, because you never will. He says, now we can afford them, but we can't have children now. And I thought, how wise that is.
Wow.
So, of course, that night I went home and and we enjoyed it.
C'est la vie.
So we enjoyed ourselves. So, kids, you get the chance, you do it. You do it. As long as you're not hurting anybody else or yourself, do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in doing a paranormal investigation?
I'm sure it's
one evening.
It's something I've not done before.
I think you can bring something to the table.
You reckon?
I reckon your energy, I do, your energy and my energy matched.
Yeah.
I think two really good energies on an investigation. Even just in there, on site, I think.
Well,
and if
remember,
you've never done it.
In here, remember, I've had a personal thing with it, so it wouldn't be new ground as such. I mean, they're coming up the stairs.
And the spirits like familiarity.
Oh, I'm
I've been here 8 to 9 weeks.
Well, that's all they know, you see. That's in my opinion, that's the world that they no longer belong to.
Yeah.
But they don't know they don't belong there yet.
Yeah, that's very true.
They haven't moved on to the next one.
Yeah.
They haven't made that step.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can help them do it.
Absolutely.
You see.
Right, ladies and gents, I will love you and leave you all. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it.
John's enjoying it. We are definitely going to be doing a number 2, maybe even an investigation, which I think is going to be. It's
would
going to
be
be
nice,
another
wouldn't
level. It would. It absolutely
And
would.
if we made contact, wouldn't that be even better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
God,
This place
that would
never
be-
lets me down, and I can honestly say that it never fails to amaze me, ever. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, good night, God bless, be well, have a lovely week, and it's good night from me, a good night,
night
from
from
John, a good night from him, a good night from Nick who's hiding over there taking notes.
Good night, guys.
Have a lovely one, guys. Good night. And